Hey, this is Jack from Alpha Charts with a midweek video. Today is December 26th, 2023. Before we get started, this video is for informational purposes only. These are not recommendations to buy, sell, or hold any stock or security. I may hold positions in some of the equities mentioned. Know your time frame and risk tolerance. All right, if you're a subscriber, thank you very much. If you are not a subscriber yet, please consider becoming a subscriber. It's $10 a month. And again, this week we are doing a free view of all of my subscription basically. And let's just see if I can throw that in here real fast. I don't know if you guys see that or not, but again, these are all the things that you're getting. I'm not going to give a big long spiel on this. Just know that it's totally worth it, $10 a month. And again, you're seeing a preview of what we actually do. If you think it could help you, consider becoming a member. All right, let's get into this charts. All right, so we have this SPY with a beautiful base. I mean, that's as good as it can look. We are now challenging these December 21 highs, January 22 highs right over here. And we're going to zoom in into what we're seeing. Now, we are right in the middle of the Santa Claus rally. And in my opinion, again, this is just my opinion, we're not quite to the new highs. I think 480-ish or so is right where we need to be, and we're about 5 points or so below that, so pretty darn close. But now we're starting to see a little bit of volatility enter into the market here. Volatility can cut either way. So we don't know what it's going to do, but I made the case that this bar and this bar are fairly similar. So we'll see if volatility will cut higher or lower, but definitely think that we are going to be seeing increase in volatility, if not this week, more likely, probably coming into next week, which is also the first week of the year. Obviously, we're seeing a decrease in volume as things are moving higher. That could just be a function of the time of year that is, right? So I'm not going to worry too much about the volume yet. I'm just looking at the price action, and right now, it's not doing anything wrong. We just have, a take notice day, which was, last December 20th. Right, that's my take notice day, and now I'm just watching very keenly on what's going on in there. Today, again, it's only one day. We were open because we were closed on Monday. The market was, but market was up 0.42 on the SPY and on the RSP. Actually, why am I doing this? Because I have everything set up over here. RSP, we were up 0.59, so you see a little bit of outperformance. And my view is, as long as we are above, this 155-ish area, 154 area, somewhere around there, I think that there's no reason to be concerned or even short this market. We're, on the equal weighted S&P, we're about to get that 50 crossing the 200. That's a very positive sign. Again, it's happened numerous times before, right? But in general, it's a positive sign. And when it crosses below, it's a pretty negative sign, even though it's lagging. More importantly is this 155-ish area, plus or minus a little bit. As long as we're above there on the RSP, that looks really good. Again, doing a quick review of the markets. The Qs were up today, 0.59, and into all-time high territory. That's very, very nice to see. Again, does it have that same, bar kind of look? It does. Let's move this over. There you go. This bar and that bar, same idea, kind of like a wedging type pattern. Does it mean anything? As of right now, the answer is no. It doesn't mean anything. But it's something that we need to just be aware of and take notice. And if we start to see price turnover, then we can obviously, take action if we need to. And really what I think, the thing we should be doing is just assessing our stops and raising stops to break even or better as quickly as we can, just in case we do see some sort of failure, right? I mean, a very, very low volume today. again, it is the time of year, so we can expect it, but one of the lowest volume days of the year, right? This was probably Thanksgiving, which it was, and this is July 3rd, the day before July 4th, obviously. So maybe the third lowest day or so of the year for volume. It's pretty low. But price was up 0.59, and looking at the equal weight, it was up 0.71. Again, might be that rotation away from mega caps and into a more of a broad-based rally. Nice little flaggy area and price starting to move higher from it. That's very nice to see. Again, a bullish look to it, right? So equal weighted Qs looking really, really good, and has some maybe room to the $90 level. And then once it gets up here, we'll see what happens, right? No one knows. But again, has room to the upside here from $84, $85 to 90. That's a decent run right there. And again, it's saying that maybe there's some outperformance in the small mid cap names. Speaking of, we'll go straight to IWM. And here's IWM. It was up another 1.26. So again, saying just what we thought. Now, here's a great example. Widening pattern, right? There's your widening pattern right there. Take notice day, but it looks like we're right at the upper ends of it, trying to break out. So tomorrow should be interesting if we could even go even higher here. Right? These don't have to be bearish in nature. They can be, but they don't have to be. The direction of the breakout. Again, we didn't quite get that breakout today, but it's pretty darn close. And so that'll be interesting if we see continued strength in this. If we see it come back in, then it's just within this range. But overall, this area has been, death, basically death by a million cuts right over here, from January 2022. So we're talking about a two-year choppy range. Very hard to trade. We may be getting to that point where we're breaking out and breaking out for good. Now we are extended. Really would love to see a pullback here and then a move higher. And then if we want to get long just the small caps in general, in this 200-ish area, that's a great spot, right? If we get, it's 2% lower, a little 2% pullback right into the moving average, that would look really, really good. But overall, IWM looking fine. So looking at the indexes as a general, they're not doing anything wrong at all. Stair stepping higher. We are in this low volume slog right now. So we're just going to ride the trend, right? Raise stops and ride the trend. Looking at XLF, it has this kind of flag and we're starting to break out. Again, much lower volume, but I'm not so concerned about that. As long as price is above this $37-ish area, I think we could be long XLF. And, this is just, participating in the market, which is all we need it to do. If it decides to lead, that's even better. But XLF participating, that's a positive. Looking at SMH, this is the semiconductor. We had this beautiful cup and handle, broke out, retest, move higher, made a flag, and now moving higher again, up 1.4, leading the market. That's what we want to see, is semiconductors leading the market. It's a very, very bullish look to it. And again, there's nothing to be bearish about with this. Up 1.4 today. XSD, which is the equal weight, up 1.66 and breaking out of this general area right there. Again, very bullish sign. Looking at this as an indicator and also as a trading vehicle potentially. Using smaller cap semiconductors looks really, really good. Looking at transports, here's IYT. Still at this trend line. Hasn't quite broken it yet, but hasn't fallen down either. And now these moving averages are starting to catch up. So that looks absolutely fine. Equal weighted transports, again, participating in the rally. That's what we want to see, participation. And looking at home builders, trying to break out of this nice little pennant right there, move higher would be super, super good. Again, we're seeing a much decline in volume. That being said, again, it's the time of year. And looking at XHB, it looks similar enough. Again, tried to break out, really couldn't, still in this area. And again, we'll continue to watch it, but not doing anything wrong as is. So again, all the leading sectors are all participating. That's a positive. Let's go into the internals, and here is the VIX. Get under 13 in this bullish range, and it could stay in this range for a period of time. You see back in here and in here, and even in here got even lower and stayed in this general range with a couple snapbacks every so often. And that is the type of environment that I think we are currently in. There may be some snapbacks, but overall, a very bullish. And we've been in there since, really since the summer. There's your snapback. That's when, a couple months of some harder trading time. And now we're back in this 13-ish range. Looks really, really good. Credit spreads, if things are going to start to really go sideways on us, you're going to see credit spreads really start to blow out. And we are seeing just the opposite of that. So we are not getting the move higher, we're getting the move lower. And that is, again, bullish, period. Right? Tightening of credit spreads. All right, let's look at percent of stocks above the 50-day moving average. So this is where we could say, okay, things are getting overheated. This is the spot. We want to point to something that says, hey, we want to be cautious. This is where we want to be cautious, because let's look. We're 85%. It hasn't been this high since February 2021 and December 2020, and it did stay up this way for a little bit of time. But you see, it rarely will get much higher than here before you get some sort of pullback. Some sort of pullback. Again, stay a little bit higher here, right? But then you did get that pullback. Again, and looking at historically, there's your pullback, right? So we're seeing that this is an area where pullbacks happen. This is where we decide if we want to take profits. I recommend taking partial profits when we have them, because they can disappear very quickly, and figuring out where the proper stop is in our positions. We're saying we are primed for some sort of pullback. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen this week or if it happens next week. And I'll be honest with you, next week would be much more dangerous to start the new year, because the big boy traders will be back on the desk. And that would have, I think, more meaning than if it happened this week. But again, this is the worry right there. Look at the put call ratio. Again, we're in a bullish range, and we could be down here for a while. There's nothing wrong with that. We're in a bullish range, but we're not extreme. So we're not quite extreme yet. That's a positive, right? Let's look at the dollar, DXY. And there's your dollar moving lower. You see a nice red bar today, driving the stock market higher. That's a beautiful thing. Now, again, rest of this week, we get to this 101 level, right? We're pretty close. We're only about 50 cents away from it. We get to this 101 level. Well, what happened when we got here? Numerous times in the past. This has been an area of support and resistance. There's your resistance here, kind of broke through it. There's your support, 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 support. There's a whoopsie, came right back. So that's, was higher. Now we're coming into this area again. If we break below this, 100 to 101 area, that's super bullish, and I think stocks are going much higher. But this is an area where we've seen bounces in the dollar. So as we put the picture together, we have extreme in our breadth, right? Up to 85% above the 50-day moving average. We have the dollar coming into support. We have things leaning bullish, not extremely bullish, but leaning bullish. And so I think some complacency, a VIX of 13, right? Some complacency potentially in the market. That's ripe for maybe a bounce in the dollar, a shakeout in the stock market. So again, that's what I'm saying. If you haven't taken some profits, consider taking some profits while the market is good. And I'm not saying that we're going to a bearish time, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked if we see some kind of snapback rally. Again, it's primed for it. It doesn't have to happen, but this 100 to 101 area, it's a big area. And if the dollar, the dollar really runs what's going on in the equity market. So just be aware of that. And then there's T and X. and we're down to 3.85 and just back in this big solid range. So not much to see there. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I hope this was helpful. We have a little bit more to go. I'm gonna want to go over our focus list and then my current positions, right? So in the end, though, everything is looking fine. We are coming into certain areas that may offer some supply. All right, so let's look at the focus list. All right, so NetApp was on the focus list, has not broken out of this triangle yet, so we're no go on that. Pulte again has not broken the flag yet, so no go on that. KRE has broken its flag, so we did enter it via DPST, which we talked about. Again, nice move today, 4.5% move higher. So that looks really, really good. Housing has not broken out yet, so that's not no trigger there. Huntington Bank looks like it did break out, and our buy was at actually our buy we said was around 1250. So it should have triggered. Yes, I have to look and see if it actually bought or not, but should have triggered. STNG, this one did trigger. It was a pullback buy to 62.50. It ended up at 62 and a quarter, so we're probably underwater just a little bit on this trade. But we are using this rising 9-day as our stop. So there's not much of it had about 3% risk total in this one. And if it stops out, it stops out. That's just the way it goes. Let's see, nails should not have triggered. It didn't because obviously ITB didn't trigger. Fresh. So fresh, this is an interesting one. So on the open, and I was already set up to go from yesterday. So on the open, somehow it did trigger. And so I got in fresh on the open, even though it wasn't a really good close. Now I'm just going to manage the risk. Hopefully tomorrow we do get this rebound, but I'm using this rising 9-day as my stop, right? Um, I said 23.25, and that should be where it is right about now. And then probably later this week, I will raise it to 23.40 or 23.50, somewhere around there as this moves higher. And if we haven't stopped out, right? And there's Datadog. I entered this one as well today. Um, it was on our focus list and it triggered. So we're doing great in this one so far. Again, just trailing my stop. And again, these are just trades, right? And let's see what we're in. Here's my current list that I'm in. If they stop out, they stop out and we move on and take the feedback from the market. But these BLDR starting to break the flag and moving higher. Bank of Hawaii, right? Beautiful little breakout right there, up 2.28%. Looks really, really good. Dutch Brothers, kind of inside-ish day. I don't know if it's an actual, let's see, with a high, 31.23. I'd consider that a perfect inside day. Close near the top of the range. So that looks really good. Again, just trailing the stop behind it. I'll probably raise it to 29, the stop, and just keep de-risking this trade as it continues to work. Coinbase, again, another inside day. Just letting moving averages catch up. Nothing wrong with this one. Again, just a nice trend trade right there. Datadog, again, we entered that today. DPST, again, entered today. Nice move higher there. This is the fresh trade, Freshworks. Again, I don't love that, that I entered up here, but that's what happened. And so we'll make it work, right? Let's see. I think we can buy near 24. And yeah, it put me in there at 24, maybe a tiny bit higher than that. Robinhood, really just a consolidation, 3 days of consolidation. Moving averages are catching up. Again, not doing anything wrong. And again, just trailing my stop. IDCC, just a very tight consolidation here. When you look at it, broke out. Again, just trailing the stop and de-risking the trade as we go. Looking at net, starting its move higher after a nice little consolidation period. So keeping in on this one. This was our original notes for members. Ozark, trying to break out of this kind of flaggy area. Tried to today, really couldn't, but didn't do anything wrong as well. And all these days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days now, we're all inside this giant mother bar right there. So that's kind of interesting. What a consolidation. Overall, doing everything right, and here comes the 9 day trying to catch up to it. This is a UE path. Still in this general rangy area. I'm in this one still. And again, it's not doing anything wrong. I'm not going to change my stop quite yet. It's shooken me out a couple times, so I'm trying to give it a little bit more breathing room. But again, if it falls below VWAP, I'm out. Square starting to move higher once again. Looks pretty good. Lots of accumulation on this chart. I think we can make it to this, 90-ish area. Scorpio tankers, we talked about this one already. Would have definitely want to see this 9 day EMA hold. And if it doesn't, I'm out. Then there's Uber, and I'm still in Uber. Bought the breakout. Beautiful consolidation, really tight consolidation. Here comes the 9 day moving average right there. I'm trying to think where my stop is. My stop is probably the low of this day currently. And if we break below, then I want to be out. Low of the day is around probably 60.50. And here comes the 23 day. And again, it's just consolidating. So it looks really, really good. So those were all the positions that currently holding. Again, I am taking all the setups that I'm giving you personally in my own account. If they hit, I'm entering based on the information that I'm sharing with you. And I'm managing risk and raising stops as we go. I won't always tell you when I raise my stop because that's unreasonable if I'm working or whatever. So you have to manage your own risk. But again, I am entering right on cue and updating the idea with these videos and on the weekends and stuff. Okay. Hope you all are doing well. Enjoy this ride. Again, these bullish times in the market, they don't last forever. So don't forget to take some profits, ratchet up your stops, reevaluate your stops. If we start to get a bunch of things stopping out altogether, that's the feedback from the market to say, okay, let's raise some cash and see what's going on, right? We don't have that situation as of today. Again, we don't know what tomorrow brings, but we'll find out. All right. Hope y'all are doing well out there. Take care. Have a good night.